The melody and the metal. Fatima hummed, her voice dancing with the setting sun. She loved this time of day, the sky ablaze with orange and pink. She skipped along the canal, kicking up dust with her sandals. Something glimmered under a weeping willow. It was a ring, nestled amongst the roots. It was silver, etched with strange symbols. Fatima reached out, drawn to its cool touch. The metal felt oddly alive. Ignoring a prickle of unease, she slipped the ring onto her finger. As soon as it settled, a chill shot up her arm. It was as if the ring itself had a heartbeat, pulsing against her skin. Fatima shivered, a sudden wave of dread washing over her. This was no ordinary piece of jewelry. This was something else, something dangerous. An embrace of ice. The feeling didn't leave. The ring felt cold, like a piece of ice perpetually pressed against her skin. Its weight felt heavier, pulling at her finger. That night, sleep wouldn't come. Every time she closed her eyes, she felt a presence in the room. It was cold, watching, waiting. When she finally drifted off, it was into a restless sleep, plagued by shadows and whispers. And then she saw him. The man in the shadows. He was tall and shrouded in darkness, his features obscured. His voice, when he spoke, was like gravel and smoke. He called her name, his tone possessive, chilling her to the bone. "Fatima," he rasped. "You are mine now." Fatima woke with a gasp, her heart a drum in her chest. The room was cold, much colder than it should be. The ring on her finger felt like a brand. She tried to remove it, but it wouldn't budge. It was as if it had become a part of her, a chilling extension of the darkness that now clung to her. Fear, icy and sharp, pierced through her. What had she brought into her life? Whispers and disappearances. The days that followed were a blur of terror. Objects moved on their own. Whispers followed her, cold breath on the back of her neck. Food spoiled instantly. Flowers wilted with a single touch. Even animals, usually drawn to Fatima's gentle nature, cowered from her. Her reflection in the mirror grew gaunt, her eyes haunted. The ring felt heavier, the cold seeping further into her bones. She was losing herself, swallowed by the growing darkness that clung to her like a shroud. Her family saw the change. Her once bright eyes were clouded with fear. Her laughter, once the soundtrack to their lives, was replaced by a strained silence. Her mother, her hands shaking, clutched a worn prayer book. Her father, his face etched with worry, searched Fatima's face for his little girl. They knew something was terribly wrong. This was beyond any illness they understood. Finally, they decided to seek help from the only person they believed could help, the village sheikh, renowned for his wisdom and mastery over the unseen world. The sheikh's home was humble, yet radiated an aura of peace. He listened intently as Fatima's father spoke, his gaze sharp and understanding. When he finally looked at Fatima, his eyes, though filled with concern, held a glimmer of hope. He knew what haunted her, a Jinn, he stated, his voice gentle yet firm. He seeks to claim you as his own. Fatima, despite her terror, felt a flicker of relief. Finally, someone believed her. Finally, there was a chance, however slim, of escaping the clutches of the entity that held her captive. The air crackled with energy as the sheikh began the ritual. Incense filled the room, its scent both comforting and overpowering. He chanted verses from the Quran, his voice rising and falling in a rhythmic cadence that seemed to push back the shadows. The room grew cold. The Jinn was angry, its presence a suffocating weight. Fatima thrashed, the ring burning like fire on her finger. With a final powerful chant, the sheikh sprinkled holy water on the ring. A blinding flash of light filled the room, followed by a gut-wrenching scream. The ring flew off Fatima's finger, landing with a dull thud on the floor. Silence descended. Fatima lay still, her chest heaving as she struggled to catch her breath. The ring, once cold and menacing, now seemed like any other piece of silver, its power broken. The sheikh smiled kindly, exhaustion evident on his face. "He is gone, child. You are free." Fatima, though weak, felt a sliver of hope bloom in her chest. She was free. The Jinn was gone. Looking at the ring, now lying innocuous on the floor, she felt a surge of relief mixed with lingering fear. But even with the ring gone, the fear lingered. It clung to her like a shadow, a constant reminder of the darkness that had almost consumed her. The Jinn might be gone, but his presence, the echo of his claim, still haunted her. Life slowly returned to normal. The whispers faded, the shadows receded. Fatima's laughter returned, though not as carefree as before, yet she couldn't escape the feeling that she was being watched. The Jinn might be gone, but the experience had changed her, leaving an indelible mark on her soul. She no longer sang by the canal, the memory of the ring and the terror it brought too vivid. The setting sun, once a source of joy, now served as a reminder of the darkness that lurked just beyond the veil of the ordinary. The Jinn might have been exorcised, the ring removed, but Fatima knew with a chilling certainty that some chains, once forged,